Tonight, the Diamondbacks host the Pittsburgh Pirates. We see the ball game, though, through the eyes of the men in black. Major League Baseball umpires, we take you behind the scenes this evening. It is Game 3 of a 4-game series. Hard-working, ever communicating Major League Baseball umpires, one of the toughest jobs in the game tonight. We really learn all about it as we live behind the scenes. We're going to show you, obviously, the starting lineups for the teams here in a little bit. But there is a starting lineup tonight on the field, Matt Williams, when you talk about these Major League Baseball umpires. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Darren Sutton along with Matty. And the communication between these guys is important, isn't it?
Yeah, extremely important. They have signs, they communicate, they know exactly where to go depending on where the balls hit in the infield or the outfield. They have to rotate to cover other bases, to make calls. It is an intricate system that they use. All
right, let's see them. Who's out there working? Let's see where they are, where they will be. James Hoy's behind home plate. Tim Welke is the first base umpire. Todd Tishner is at second base. Jim Reynolds is at third. Welke and Reynolds, you will hear in our conversations, are the guys that are kind of the senior members of this team. Senior members. Let's go ahead and turn it to that subject matter, because this is where seniority reigns when you talk about Major League Baseball umpires. Had an incident in Denver, Colorado recently for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Young umpire DJ Rayburn made this call. Todd Helton, you're out of the line. That is a double play. Jim Tracy went out to chat with DJ Rayburn. Gary Darling, crew chief, said, I'm cutting you off, my friend. I'll take care of my own. That's the thing we're talking about. Almost a military-style existence for these Major League umpires. They look out for the younger ones.
And Gary probably has a good rapport with Jim Tracy, and that's part of the game. It's you know, they probably go back to when he managed in Pittsburgh and L.A. and when as a coach in Montreal. So, and that helps. And Gary probably just says, hey, he got it right. It's not worth it. Let's go. But there'll be times when the other guys are having a discussion with a manager or a coach or even a player, and I'll choose not to go in to separate it, because that's how the guys get the experience to handle it themselves.
If Tim Welke comes down or another senior umpire comes down and they go, hey, he got it right, they go, oh, okay, because it came from Tim. Not necessarily, I could say the same thing and I could be 100% right, but the play that you mentioned before, because Gary Darling said it, means a lot more to him than it would be coming from me. So that means a whole lot to me, having a senior guy around.
There's never a home game for a Major League Baseball umpire. You always have a fan booing somewhere in the stands. But give me a player's perspective. As long as you played, I would imagine you have an awful lot of respect for how challenging that job can be.
Yeah, it's difficult. Can you imagine coming to work every day and you're not going to be liked by somebody? And somebody's going to boo you, and somebody's going to think you made the wrong call. Ultimately, it's about getting the call right, regardless of whether they like it or not. These guys are all about getting it right. They're evaluated every day. They're judged every day. It's about getting the call correct, so they are not part of the game. All they want to do is officiate. If they get involved in the game, it's too much involvement for them.
Yeah, this ought to be very unique tonight. Had to get full permission from Major League Baseball. A lot of work put into it. We're proud to be a part of it, quite honestly. When we come back, we obviously have the ball game, the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Diamondbacks, but A.J. Hinch, his perspective on the umpires. lines. They're ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on.
Mark McClune back at the Diamond Club. All access tonight on Fox Sports Arizona. A rare look at guys that often don't get a lot of notoriety, but you bet the Arizona Diamondbacks know the names Jim Riddles, James Hoy, Tim Welke, and Todd Tishner, tonight's umpiring crew. So does A.J. Hinch, Diamondbacks manager, who spent his professional baseball career playing, cultivating a relationship behind the plate with the umpire as a catcher. A.J. Hinch on that unique relationship between the umpire and the catcher in tonight's Geico quote of the game.
It's a give and take. I mean, the umpires are open to discussion. They're open to your thoughts. They, if you have a pitch that's a strike that they think is a ball and vice versa, they're open to it to a point, and then you have to know where to draw the line.
Should be a lot of fun to see that give and take. When we come back, we play ball and go all access. Garrett Sutton and Matt Williams have the call. It's the Diamondbacks and the Pirates, and it's next right here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Ball at Oklahoma. John Russell, the skipper of these Pittsburgh Pirates, with an interesting and athletic lineup at spots, no doubt about it. Andrew McCutchen at the top. That's really where it starts. Then down below, Freddie Sanchez, Garrett Jones. What a great story. We'll explain. It's Doman, it's Pierce, then it's LaRoche with Moss behind. Jack Wilson healthy again. He pounds double D in his career. Ohlendorf is on the mound, and there is Doug Davis. Last couple of starts have been tough starts, but a 3.95 ERA overall, and we're underway behind home plate. James Hoy says strike one. That's the story.
Double D likes that strike one. That's what he's going to have to do tonight.
Curveball lined in the left field. Over the head of Romero. And McCutchen races around. A ball that should have been caught is not. And a dubious beginning to this ball game for the Diamondbacks.
Second baseman number 12, Freddie Sanchez.
Well, we saw it a few days ago with a play in Colorado. Ball seems to be knuckling. Sometimes in the outfield you can get a ball hit by a batter like that that's right at you that just has no spin on it. Like a Tom Candiotti knuckleball coming out there at about 90 miles an hour, and it's difficult to catch.
So the same thing on the trip to Denver, Colorado as well. Dexter Fowler had a line drive that Justin hit. That one over by his dugout, Freddie Sanchez. 0-1 to count. Freddie back over 300, 303, 6 homers, 34 batted in, but just 3 for his last 26. Guy now that's a career 300 hitter. What a batting title a few years back.
Kind of unorthodox. Looks at times like he's just a hacker up there, like he's just swinging at anything, but he puts the head of the bat on it and squares it up. Good guy to have in the number 2 spot, too. You saw it with the first swing, trying to get inside the baseball and move that runner from second to third with nobody out here.
Trying to do that, but to be honest with you, and that's great team baseball, he's 17 for 34 in his career against him. So now with 2 strikes, he's going to do what he can to drive that run in.
Yeah, and now that he has 2 strikes, but I would imagine that if he walked up there and hit a bullet to third bases on the first pitch, John Russell will have something to say to him when he got back to the dugout, regardless.
Team game, isn't it?
It is.
That one buried in, a cut fastball from Doug Davis. And another one in the lineup, Jack Wilson, who's missed the last couple of days with hamstring problems, finds his way back in on a night in which he faces a guy that he hits .333 against.
It's amazing how that happens, isn't it? That hammy starts feeling good when you got somebody out there that you handle.
The 1-2. Got him with a fastball. Let's take a look at the defense for the Diamondbacks. Strikeout there. .500 average. Forget about that. I'll just strike him out. Romero, Parra, Upton on the infield. Tracy, Ojeda, Drew over to Mark Reynolds, and Mark Reynolds again doing his thing. Our Chaz Roberts, heating and air conditioning, cool play. Our family from New Mexico helping to catch Mark as he caught that ball. Looks good in that black uniform, doesn't he? Slow curveball. Garrett Jones. How can you explain what this guy's been doing?
How can you explain the fact that he hasn't been in the big leagues much? The way that he's swinging the bat is unbelievable.
7.5 years in the minor leagues. Had a brief cup of coffee with the Twins. But this is his Pirates debut, folks. Those numbers are his debut with Pittsburgh.
And it's been all over the field. You know, you look at guys that come to the big leagues that have a lot of power potentially. Generally, they're pull hitters. He's driving balls to left field. He hit a double to left field the other night. Drove another ball that Alex Romero climbed the wall and caught. And, of course, he hit a homer, too.
Fouls it off. Doug Davis firing it in. James Hoy behind home plate. What does James Hoy see? Want to be an umpire? This is Doug Davis opening up his warm-up bullpen session to all of us at home. So you tell us, folks, ball or a strike. That last one's pretty good.
What do you think? Got that one just off the corner?
I got that one on the black. What a treat, and we thank the Diamondbacks and Doug for allowing us to do that for a couple of pitches.
It's what it's all about tonight, right? A little different perspective. A little different behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't ordinarily get to see.
And now James Hoy will get a new set of baseballs. 1-2 the count, saying, come on, boys, let's go. It's the one thing you notice with umpires these days, but certainly for years and years, like to keep the pace going.
Well, it's interesting what you do with your hands right there. That's exactly what they do. They
clap.
don't have to say anything. All they have to do is clap, and that means, okay, that's enough. Let's get back in the box.
Work quickly. Keep the game moving. James Hoy says for him behind the plate, it's all about tempo.
It's like anything else. As a player, you want tempo. As an umpire, you want tempo. You don't want a pitcher to throw 4 balls to the screen and then he's going to throw a ball like that. I mean, you want the guy to be around the plate. You want tempo because it makes your job easier as an umpire. It makes it makes the game go on better when there's a tempo.
It's true. You know, you talk to infielders all the time.
He went around there, by the way, and it gets by Montero, so the runner goes to third with 2 outs on a wild pitch.
Talk to infielders all the time, and they say, boy, if a guy's throwing strikes and you know he pitches to contact, we're going to make great plays because we're on our toes. It's the same deal. Umpires like that tempo, players like that tempo, like the game to move along. It's important.
James Hoy is 28 years old, born in Ohio, 11 years of professional umpiring experience. And he is not a full-time member of this crew. As that one hit on the hands, going back is Augie Ojeda. The best part about tempo is when you keep moving and you strand that runner in scoring position. The Diamondbacks 1 through 9 for Arizona. A little bit of a juggle, if you will, with Gerardo Parra moving into the 2-hole. That's the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Justin Upton, then Mark Reynolds, Miguel Montero, steamrolling. And Tracy seeing some regular playing time of late. Very interesting. Alex Romero is in left field. Augie Ojeda's at second. Double D. Ross Oldendorf is 26 years old. He was involved in the trade that brought Randy Johnson back to Arizona, then went from the Yankees to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And this year, an ERA of about 4.6 out of Austin, Texas. Big kid.
Yeah, good fastball. Very good fastball. Low to mid 90s at times. He struggles sometimes with the strike zone, though.
He has been in that rotation regularly. They're getting a good long look at him this year. Hear him with a little grunt as that one dives away. 1-1 the count. Stephen Drew, Gerardo Parra, and Justin Upton. Drew rolling his last 6 games, and I mean steamrolling. Change up, pretty good one, but it's low, and a nice take. 2-1.
It's amazing when you see the baseball. I mean, clearly, Stephen is picking the baseball up early. His body language is such that he looks like he's confident at the plate, and he's putting a nice swing on it.
Takes a fastball low again. 3-1 the count. Well, numbers: 12 hits in his last 6 games, 4 of them doubles with a triple. Hitting .462. He's homered as well. It's all been since he became a leadoff hitter. Hot shot. Here we go again. He is on. And this, especially since the beginning of last season, has been the spot in the order that he has thrived the most. Coincidence?
I don't know. I don't know if it's coincidence or not. I just know that his swing right now is flat and it's short. And he's not swinging any balls out of the strike zone. When he gets his pitch, he's not messing it. Is it coincidence? I don't know. I think maybe it's a mindset.
I tend to agree with that. So Drew, since the 4th of July, now hitting nearly 400 at 381. Half of his hits, extra base hits, half of them. That's the Stephen we saw almost all of last year, but interestingly enough, specifically in the second half. Now here we go.
Those extra base hits are not balls out of the ballpark. He's staying on the baseball, driving it to both gaps.
0-1 the count. That one is fouled off. You know, it's interesting. You have a guy, as we told you, behind home plate, and James Hoy working mainly crew to crew, helping to give vacation relief. But understanding that still respect is a big part of it, especially for a young umpire and how things evolve. The 0-2. Ground ball, and it's a foul ball. This crew usually, we see Tim Welke out there. Welke is the umpire tonight at first base, and Jim Reynolds is over on the other corner at third base. Angel Hernandez and Bill Welke, Tim's brother, usually round out the crew. When you never have home games, you get a little vacation time.
Yeah, it's nice.
So they break the crew up. How about brothers?
Yeah.
Brothers working on the same crew together. 0-2 the count.
Like to be a fly on the wall with some of those brotherly conversations. I can't believe you blew that call. I didn't blow that call.
The 0-2. That one is in. 1-2 the count.
It's interesting. You know, everybody likes to be liked, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a thankless job these guys have. It's horrible. Yelled at every day. Never a home game, as you said.
They want to go up with the fastball. Instead, he fires it over to first at about 120 miles an hour.
And up. It was up.
I mean, Steve Pearce fortunate to catch that ball. Big man, quick feet, and right behind those feet came a rocket. 1-2 the count. Parra battles the double play ball, and you know, even though they're going up, they're thinking strikeout. They're not thinking ground ball. What a good move. That one right on the bag.
Well, that's why they give that guy over there that big old glove.
One and two the count. Upton waits on deck, just underway. That one a nice job blocking it up. Ryan Domit tonight behind home plate. He will be working alongside James Hoy as well as Miguel Montero. A little bit of a fraternity there as well. Those two guys. The two guys that really only understand one another.
Yeah, those guys really are the only ones that understand what a foul tip feels like.
The 2-2. Runner goes. Oh, my goodness, to the bag. And he got him onto the bag. He was pulling it out. Pulling it out, says Todd Tishner. And the play was made. Wilson going to cover the bag here with the runner going. Tough luck for the D-backs.
That ball was hit hard.
10, Justin Upton.
Now you have to vacate as an infielder when that runner from first takes off for second base. A lot of times you vacate the place where the ball goes. That time Jack Wilson was running right to where the ball was going and was able to get one at least.
Second base umpire Todd Tishner, born in Nebraska. He is 32 years old, 8 years of pro experience, makes his home in Kansas. Breaking ball is low. 1-0 the count. Pitch is low, 2-0 the count. I would imagine, too, when you played deeper in your career, you kept seeing a guy over and over. Had a little more camaraderie. Early on, if you disagreed with something, you might have had a little more veteran in you towards the umpire as a hitter.
Sure.
Correct?
Yeah, that's right. When you're the rookie, it's not wise to say much.
The 2-0. That's outside, 3-0 the count.
You know, and I would imagine that the minor league umpiring system is just like the minor league player system. And I'd imagine these guys that they come in and fill in for vacation time for the veterans, they probably come from AAA ball, I'm assuming, yes?
I would imagine some stay rotating around the game.
Yes.
3-0 the count. Ground ball to short. Looked like he broke his back. They just turned it over. That is a double play.
Before it was, that pitch is off the plate. I mean, with some, some explicits in there.
Right.
Exactly. Now it's more, you got that on the corner? It became a question now, whereas before it was a statement. So I could see a little bit of that from guys. Some guys still, it'll never be that way.
Isn't that great?
Did you have the same experience?
Respect, of course.
Come on, that's off the plate.
That ball is 6 inches off the plate.
But then you've seen him for 8 years. You had that outside?
Is that as far as it's going to go?
I like that one. Chad Tracy shared that with me, that he'll ask that question a lot.
Yeah. Just let him know that you disagree, but you're doing it politely.
Right. 0-1 the count. The changeup is away to Steve Pearce. Is that as far as it's going to go?
What you don't want to hear is, well, I don't know, Matt, maybe. Well, wait a minute. I wasn't asking. Wait, you have to give me an answer. Well, no, I don't.
Actually, you're right. He doesn't. He doesn't have to give you an answer.
Or.
The 2-1 to Steve Pearce. Good cut fastball. It's fouled off.
You see it a lot of times where a guy will swing at a pitch for strike 3 and turn around and ask the umpire, was that a strike? It's horrible when the umpire says, well, evidently you swung at it.
They'd never say that, would they?
Oh, no, they'd never.
Wouldn't it be something we just say A.J. Hinch a moment ago? Tonight, of all nights, he got his first big league ejection?
Oh.
Huh? I mean, fans at home, think about that. Think about the timing of the umpire show.
They're mics, too, yes?
No.
Oh.
No, no. This isn't the Aflac All-American game, my friend, where all those kind of things are allowed. Coming up here in August, by the way, on Fox Sports Net nationwide. This isn't that game. We were actually, and I want to give a lot of credit to our entire crew, but Jason Lewis, Mitch Riggins did a lot of communicating with Major League Baseball. And got to get the approval, just sit down with them.
It's great, though. You know, you talk about that fraternity.
Line it goes.
They protect each other. We saw it with Gary Darling in Colorado. We see it with the way that the crew chief takes care of this particular crew and the others around the league. Got to take care of those young guys.
So Miguel Montero with a 2-2. Signal out to Doug Davis. And that one is away. Yeah, we talked about it earlier. It's not mandatory that the home plate umpire and the catcher communicate throughout the game. Probably doesn't hurt, though. At the moment of highest stress with that pitch coming home, there, crouched down right there together. Got him out front. How about that catcher-umpire relationship? Let's go to the senior member of the crew chief, Tim Welke.
As long as you have a professional rapport, that, you know, if the dugout's on you a little bit and the catcher knows the ball, the guy's ball's running in, it's consistently 4 inches inside, and you're balling the pitch because it's 4 inches inside, and the dugout's yelling, where is that? You expect the catcher to, hey, just tell him the truth. That's all I want. You just tell him the truth. And likewise, if I miss a pitch or a pitch I should have called a strike, I'll tell him that. But thank goodness it doesn't happen very often, because if you had to do that every inning, after a while they wouldn't believe you.
Base hit left field. That's Andy LaRoche. So help a guy out a little bit.
Sure.
If my dugout is barking and I'm Miguel Montero, come on, where is it? Where is it? And Miggy doesn't turn around at some point and go, it's out. He's got it out, and it is out. Then you're not helping your guy out back behind you.
No, and you're not helping your team out.
No.
Everybody's human. These guys get it right. We talk about it all the time, Darren. They get it right just about all the time. They get it right. Sometimes it takes all 4 of them to discuss it, but they get it right. But, you know, you're in the game as a team and from a dugout, you want every pitch to go your way, of course.
Sure.
It's up to the catcher to let his dugout know, maybe between innings, that, hey, yeah, they're out.
They got him. Oh, balk is called. Tim Welke just called a balk. And Doug hangs it around that 45-degree angle. Always right on the edge. Draw a line to first, draw a line home. In the middle is 45 degrees. You can't step over that 45 degrees. I think that's what he called.
It'd be interesting to see. He's pointing that way as if he went too far, letting Doug know that, well, you went over the 45-degree mark there. You know, it doesn't look any different than his normal move. We hear it all the time from umpires. It's about perception. What did that umpire perceive that move to be? Does he perceive that Doug stepped too far to the plate? Evidently he did. That's why he called it.
Listen. You stepped over. You stepped over. You stepped towards home, he said. That one is fouled off. Well, Doug Davis, one of the better pickoff moves in the game. And these umpires will share with you that they don't sit around all day scouting and reading every player profile they can find, but they know. They know the guys that push the envelope.
They know.
Fine. And they keep an eye on it. That one is fouled off. Of course, we're always reminded, as Doug Davis went over and talked to Tim Welke about our Arrowhead Brown and Superstition Spring Chevy dealers. Key to the game. It's not easy being blue. It's not easy being blue. Hall of Fame umpire Nestor Shilak with the great quote. This must be the only job in America that everybody knows how to do it better than the guy who's doing it.
That's a great quote.
Broken bat. Davis, he's got a runner, held up in a runway. Goes behind it to Stephen Drew and balls Mark Reynolds. They keep an eye on the runner at first. Played very well by the Diamondbacks. And it starts with the pitcher.
It does, and it starts with not necessarily the pitcher even getting the ball out of his hand. The key to this play is, if you watch Doug Davis, he makes the runner commit. He's standing out there in the middle. He makes him commit one way. And that, when he committed to go back to second base, at that point he unloads the ball to Stephen Drew. and then it's an easy rundown. If he gets the ball to Steven too early, that runner is still out in the middle there, and there's no momentum created to get him running back and forth. Nice job.
And these are the things, if you were to stop by Tucson, Arizona at 8:30 one morning, late February, and you'd wonder, why are they doing this over and over? So they can do it comfortably at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
Pitchers fielding practice.
Generally, as a position player, you don't want the pitcher handling the ball too much. That's a given. That's why they do it, though. They want to create the proper rundown. More times you let the ball go, the better chance you have of messing it up.
Two and 0 the count. That one goes right back to the screen. That's Jack Wilson. Good to see him back in the lineup. Fan favorite in Pittsburgh, PA. Not quite sure what his long-term future holds as his contract comes to an end. With a team option for next year, but he hasn't played in the first couple of games in this series. Hamstring problems have plagued him. Has always played the game the right way.
You know, when
Nice job.
Jack first came up, it was all about defense, but he's turned himself into a very productive hitting shortstop. His defense has always been superb. He made himself a good hitter in a big ballpark to left field in Pittsburgh now. Understands the game and what he must do to be successful.
Popped up, giving it a look is Montero. It's a souvenir.
Think he's having fun these days?
Did you see that? Showing James Hoy the ball. I got it. That's an out, right? Yeah, James Hoy's not that inexperienced. Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, there's your other ball.
Just go ahead and roll it over to the dugout there, Miguel. Already threw Double D another one. Let's go. He starts clapping his hands. Let's move it on. It's amazing what a few hits and some steady playing time will do for you.
Boy, that's great stuff. That one is fouled off and into the seats it goes. Gotta pay attention over there in those nice seats. Beautiful seats down close. That lower fence. Maybe put a little higher fence down the way a little bit along the way.
Yeah,
Might not be a bad idea.
Maybe down to the dugout.
Yeah, take it on down to the dugout. 3-2. He lost him. It's ball 4.
There's that curveball. Didn't quite get on top of that one enough to bring it down to the strike zone.
We were talking about why you keep an eye on a guy like Doug Davis. He has 51 career pickoffs. When you go back over the last 5+ seasons, only Mark Burley and Andy Pettit have more. We're keeping an eye on.
That's a lot.
Well, it's all about deception, right? I mean,
it is.
And if you're deceiving the base runner legally, you've got to be standing right on a fine line to get that many pickoffs.
It is a fine line. And generally, they let him go. And generally, even though he is walking that tightrope and maybe he's just a little bit over that 45, they don't call it, usually.
The 1-0. Ohlendorf, hot shot. That's the pitcher. Into center field. Parr's got a good arm. He uncorks it to the plate. The tag! Out! Says James Hoy. What a throw. Countryman to countryman. Miguel Montero, the best part, after the throw, he goes up the ladder, pops the tag. Attaboy, James. Brown and Superstition Springs. Enbach, triple hops, brewed Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Mark Reynolds to lead things off for the Diamondbacks. And here's one more look at the fine throw and the play.
Notice where the umpire is. It's all about taking that picture, right? Getting in position to see the whole play. Make sure he takes the proper picture so he can see everything and make the call.
Great pictures. Incredible job tonight, guys. They got to follow two things. Not always are you telling yourself, follow the umpire. Mark Reynolds juices it deep right field. It's high off that wall. Reynolds races on around. And Mark Reynolds, since the All-Star break, that is a 9-game hitting streak. He adds to his career high. He has 15 hits in his 9 games since the All-Star break.
It's a different sound coming off that bat. I'm sorry. That's loud. And that's just a nice piece of hit. Having a plan when you go up there. Figures he's going to go away with him from him with the fastball. He got it and didn't miss it.
So taking a peek out there. No, that's in play. Long ways from getting over that yellow line. I'm going to watch it just in case.
And this park is challenging too.
You bet.
You know, there was a time not too long ago where most of the ballparks around the league were just about the same. Cookie cutter bowls with a fence that went all the way around that was the same height. If the ball went over that fence, it was a homer. More challenging for the umpiring crews now.
That's why Major League Baseball says we'll help you out. And the umpire said, okay. That's what you're talking about. You have a ball sail into, I like to call it the balcony, into the balcony area. That yellow line, it's got to go over, got to clear it. Well, goodness sakes. I mean, take a look around, as you said.
Yeah.
And the fact that fans can just ease on over out and left, we don't want that happening. It's a natural reaction for a fan to change up 2-1. Good 2-0 pitch.
So you're standing where the second base umpire is standing now, which is on the infield, and that ball's hit to center field. You have to judge whether that ball's a home run in all these different angles. Can you imagine? Right here. Look at right there. You couldn't tell whether that ball left the park or not. But he's got to make that call on a dead sprint out to center field.
2-2 the count to Miguel Montero.
When he makes that call, one of these dugouts is going to argue with him.
You bet. There is Todd Tischner. He's the one who raced out. Miggy red hot, as we all know. 13 hits since the All-Star break, hitting .448. Hitting .373 overall in the month of July. So I'm going to pitch up. Look like a breaking ball. These intimate ballparks where the baseballs fly. New Yankee Stadium. Good luck making a home run call there. Fans right on top of it. Baseball sailing out everywhere.
Yeah,
the 2-2.
It's happening over there, isn't it?
Fly ball center field. Now, easy chance to go back and check that one out for Ahoy. But what about when it's right into that area that Matt talked about, where you're not quite sure? Well, Major League Baseball steps in and says, we have instant replay in play. It is now explained when it is called upon by veteran Tim Welke.
And it's called a boundary call. So possible fan interference reaching over the fence. Did the ball hit a bleacher just behind the fence? Did the ball go around to the left of the pole, to the right of the pole? Is it fair or foul? There'll be, most cases, doubt in the umpire's mind that has the call. We'll come together, we'll have a conference, and then we'll decide as a group. The four of us will decide. We'll take our time and we'll talk, and we'll decide whether we should go look at it or not. There's a misconception that the team can ask for that or request that. That's not the case.
Team cannot ask for an instant replay call. Can the team maybe ask for a do-over on the base paths?
I don't think they can do that.
No, that's not in the rule books either.
No, I don't think so. Now, Mark Reynolds has done a nice job this year of taking advantage of opportunities. Sometimes you get caught.
Yeah, Mark obviously with 18 stolen bases. And got caught off the bag there. So now, first pitch, Chad Tracy. He takes a look and it's a strike. Chad at 234, 6 homers, 28 RBIs. Smaller snapshot in the month of July, hitting .325 with an on-base plus slugging of over 900.
You said it was interesting.
Well, I think it's interesting. Do you?
Sure. I mean, given the current situation of this club and having, the ability to, certainly having people knock on the door or ring the phone saying, hey, who's available? You never know.
Has to be the right fit, certainly, for the Diamondbacks.
And it makes for nervous times for players in situations like this as well. Chad's not complaining about getting serious playing time, I'm sure, but it makes you wonder.
I'll tell you one thing Chad has done, does not complain at all.
Not at all.
And good for him.
Never would.
Breaking ball. It's been a frustrating couple of years for Chad Tracy.
It's difficult. Just coming through the organization and tearing it up at every level. Then you get to the big leagues and finally fulfill your dream and look forward to your big league career, and things happen and you just can't get on the field. It's frustrating.
Got on the side of that one. It stays in. 3-2 the count. And you might wonder, well, do these guys think about that? Are they aware of this stuff?
You bet.
They plan to pull in the infield. The outfield maybe a step to the opposite field. And a good fastball goes right by him. Mark Reynolds in a rundown after being picked off on the base paths. Skipper A.J. Hinch had a conversation you saw it a moment ago with Mark Reynolds. And right back to work goes Doug Davis. That is strike one for Mark this year. Aggressively running the base paths, but also has been picked off 7 times and picked off turned into a caught stealing 3 more. So 10 times eliminated from the base paths this season. 1-1 the count.
part of the learning process, though. You know.
I figured you'd say that.
Well,
it is.
It is. Yeah, having success, stealing as many bases as he has.
Well, that's a pretty good pitch. In 2-1 the count.
You realize as a player that you want to continue to do that, get yourself in scoring position for your teammates, score runs for your club. There is that line that you can't cross as well, but
Cut fastball and a dandy from Doug. Grabs the outside corner. Well, he is to the point now where he throws his cut fastball nearly half of all pitches this season, 46% of the time.
his success has come with that backdoor cutter as well. It's not just the cutter in on the right-handers. He's been able to control it enough to start it off the plate and bring it to the outside corner.
So if I tell you folks at home that you have a pitcher that throws 73% fastballs, would you call him a fastball pitcher?
I guess you'd have to.
That's Doug Davis. He's crafty. He's left-handed. He's not overpowering. And that misses inside. That's a cut fastball. It's ball 4. Our Jack in the box. Think outside the box. Oh, do you folks remember this? Paul Nart umpiring in San Diego. Did he get him? Oh, you bet. Paul Nart said he got him on the leg. Wait a minute, says skipper A.J. Hinch. And he had a long say with Nart. We thought for sure, Matt Williams, he was going to get tossed.
When you start shaking your finger like that, with being emphatic about it, it generally gets underneath the umpire's skin. You can talk to him all day long, but once you start pointing at them or directing your questions at them personally, it tends to make their right arm work a little bit.
0-1 the count on Freddie Sanchez. Boy, McCutchen was hopping off the bag, then had to get back. And Doug does all that with Tim Welke like a hawk staring at that right foot.
I guess if you're Doug Davis, you can figure one of two things. Well, he's already called one; he's not going to call another, or he's just going with his plan and not caring whether he calls the balk again.
He's the crew chief, as we told you earlier. 25 years of service time. Came to the big leagues in '84. That one is low, talking about Tim Welke. Born in Michigan, makes his home in the great state of Michigan. Nothing wrong with that. I would imagine he makes his home in the Kalamazoo area because he does time working with big brothers and big sisters of Kalamazoo County in Michigan. A couple of all-star games. Division Series, League Championship Series. Was a part of the crew in the World Series of '96, 2000, 03, and last year. Curveball is away, 2-1 the count.
Well, they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they're dedicated to their craft.
In on the hands, long run for just enough to no chance. It gets into the seats. The play not made over there by the young fans. I want to remind you, bring your gloves to the ballpark. We'll be keeping an eye out.
I'm itching. I, for one, am itching to give away, to say that Derek can give a contract to that person tonight.
4 free tickets. 30% off at the team store.
You don't have to catch a ball. You can catch Mark Reynolds if you like.
That went into the seats. Oh, dropped up there in the seats.
Let's go, people. Somebody's got to make a play.
Want to remind you, if you're traveling around and can't catch the D-backs on Fox Sports Arizona, hop onto MLB.tv. 100 out-of-market games per week, live on your computer. Catch it on dbacks.com. 2-2. Curveball, got him looking. That's strike 3. We saw A.J. Hinch a moment ago really letting Paul Nart have it, but obviously he didn't go too far. Mr. Welke, what is it about these guys and how far can they go? Please explain.
Well, they log some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put in long hours. And they logged some miles. They put
The harder part of this job is dealing with people. It's dealing with the situations. Don't let a small situation become a major situation where it's going to lead to ejections, if at all possible. You know, there's misdemeanors out there and there's felonies. Felonies, the guy's going to get ejected.
I'd like an example, please.
Bull Durham. Everybody see Bull Durham?
Sure.
There's a scene in Bull Durham where he says something he's not supposed to say to the umpire.
Okay. There are words you shouldn't say. Those are felonies.
Those are felonies. You can't touch them.
Oh, no.
If you point at them.
Ted Tracy on both ends of back double play. Bringing it up, Tim Welke.
That's a bad call.
Can you say that?
You can say that. You're a bad umpire. You can't say that.
You can't say that. Okay. I won't cross over. You're a good broadcaster, Matt.
And you watch the bag, because and then you see the first baseman's foot, you see the hitter, the batter runner's foot, and you try to also pick up the first baseman catching the ball. If you take your time and you're still, it's like taking a picture. If you want to take a good picture of a group, you don't go 10 feet from the group. You won't get everybody in the frame. If you back up, take your time, if you're the right distance, and take your time, you're going to take a good picture. And if you have a good picture, you're going to have a better opportunity to get the play right.
2-0 the count to Alex Romero.
All in a split second.
Sure. They make it seem very easy.
Oh, yes, they do.
Just like you guys hitting 95 on the black. You guys make it look easy. But you're allowed to fail as a hitter 7 out of 10 times, folks. You better not fail 7 out of 10 times if you're a man in black.
No, they're evaluated. They're held to high standards.
Left field. Going back of it. Moss is there, and he makes the play for the out. All right, folks. Join us. Become interactive. Use your cell phone. Text to 36929. Fox AZ on your cell phone. What are the toughest calls for an ump? A boundary call, balls and strikes, check swing appeals, or close plays. Tag play at home plate. They all sound kind of tough. Is there E, all of the above?
You could say that. I have a thought on which is the toughest, because there's variables.
Well, let's hear your vote.
See Augie Ojeda. He uses a natural colored bat. These days there's all kinds of colors, all kinds of different colored bats. in talking with umpires over the time that I played, they told me that the most difficult thing to do is call a check swing with a guy that uses a black bat, because they can't see the bat as well, especially at night, as they do with a regular colored ash bat. They have to interpret. They have to interpret whether he went far enough, what his intent was, all of those things. But it's difficult if the hitter uses a black bat. So in my opinion, that's probably the most difficult one, because it can mean a strikeout potentially and could mean the game.
That one is fouled off and into the seats it goes. So in this case, making that call, even though Augie doesn't have the black bat, but making the check swing calls that man, Jim Reynolds. He's the third base umpire. Obviously, there's the foul line heading out towards Reynolds. Augie's bat crosses across the plate or stays behind it, as they call it on a check swing. He has the best angle. It's his angle. There's that one. Bounces in there. Thought about it. 1-2 the count.
Well, there's a lot of them, too. As a hitter, you're taught you're swinging until you're not. Every pitch is a strike when it's coming at you until you recognize it's a ball. So every hitter wants to be aggressive, and that bat's moving towards the strike zone on every pitch.
That is a fair ball. Augie Ojeda on the move. It gets by just a bit, so Augie thinking about an extra bag. Here he goes. Into third, the throw, the tag. Reynolds says that was an easy one. Another out on the base path for the Diamondbacks. Got ugly for a moment for Moss, but Augie saw it maybe getting a little bit further away. Great piece of hitting.
Fantastic piece of hitting inside the bag, down the left field line. He got a little bit too aggressive. Once he made that decision to go, he decided he was going to go. Kirk Gibson's face is getting red.
Doug on the ground. Scoreless ball game. We don't like red faces, though.
Because there is no line of delineation on this. I can give you an example. If a guy barely checks his swing but his body carries him all the way around, and in my mind his intent was not to swing ever, you know, maybe but you have that same situation where a guy, the bat goes just as far as around, but prior to his body taking him around, he never checked his swing. I'm looking for both how far he went and intent, and there is intent. You know, there's definitely intent. So I'm looking at both.
See, that to me is incredible. You have to go inside of the head of the hitter.
Sure. Was he really aggressive? Did he intend to swing at that ball? There's times where hitters get off balance and they barely swing, but the bat comes all the way around.
I thought that was a great answer by Jim Reynolds. As we go back to one of those, obviously, for our poll question is the swing appeals 3, 6, 9, 2, 9, A, B, C, or D. And a good looking change up to Doman. No balls and 2 strikes. Of course, if it was me down there at third base, everyone would be a strike. Oh, you bet he went.
That right arm would be going straight up.
But he didn't even stride towards. He just took the ball. He still went.
Strike.
The 0-2. That one is high. 1 and 2 the count.
You pitchers, I'm telling you. I'll say it again. You stand out there with the ball in your hand. Nobody knows what you're going to throw. And you got a bunch of guys with gloves that are fantastic athletes behind you that's going to catch it when somebody hits it. And you still want it.
That one is fouled off.
Make a play.
No, dropped it. Dropped it down below. Hall of Famer Bill McGowan, umpire, said on close bang calls, maybe an argument that would follow. If you don't think you're out, read the paper in the morning.
They'll tell you all about it, right?
That one is a ground ball and it's a foul ball. Just check the box scores. You're out. Youngsters enjoying it. Don't forget tomorrow the Dan Heron replica jersey T-shirt given away to the first 5,000 young ones through the gate. 602-514-8400 or dbacks.com/Sunday. The 1-2 to Ryan Doman is a changeup and it dives away. 2-2 the count.
Talk about James Hoy behind the plate and his thoughts about tempo and moving the game along and having it be smooth and all that. We think back to the Braves and to Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine and all the controversy about the umpires giving them too much width on the plate, 3-4 inches off the outside corner or whatever. Everybody's human. If you're around the plate as a pitcher, you're going to get the call that's maybe just a little bit off. But if you're throwing it all over the ballpark and then you paint, that umpire's not used to calling that strike. He's not used to seeing that ball around the plate.
Right.
Everybody's human, so they're going to get into the flow of the game. They're going to get into the fact that that pitcher's out there painting. And you may get a little bit.
The 3-2. Chased a fastball high. But then did technology change the game? Did Questech change the game? Tim Welke comments.
The technology, you have to remember, there's still a person who's drawing where that top line is and where the bottom line is. So I don't think that the computer is going to be 100% accurate, and it changes from ballpark to ballpark. Every hitter is different. They're different heights. Some crouch, some don't crouch. Some want to bunt, some don't bunt. So it's different. Some are left-handed, some are right-handed. So to answer your question, I think it's brought the ball in. It's made us much more consistent on the corners and has raised the top of the zone and lowered the bottom of the zone.
Curveball at strike 2, and didn't a lot of that occur around 99, 2000? Remember April and May of 1999 when Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux struggled badly and had to reinvent themselves.
Well, he said it. It made them more consistent on the corners. There's a veteran umpire, 27 years, been doing this job at the highest level that there is. And he's not afraid to admit, you know what, it made us better. As a group. Made him better, made all of the umpires as a group better, more consistent on the corner.
0-2 the count. That pitch is high, 1-2, but the other part of the story as Pierce battles through this at bat is that, as he reminded all of us, it made us better, but there are humans involved. Some of it we take with a grain of salt. There is interpretation. Did he go around? That's what we're talking about right there, the check swing call, and Tim says no, he didn't. Right away, checking out there.
There it is, folks, right there. See the black head of that bat. Look to the background in that. You've got a dark background. You've got people sitting back there. It's not easy to see.
3-2 the count.
We talk about them getting it right almost every time. That was right.
Doug shook off a changeup, a curveball, so he could throw a cut fastball. Here it comes, 3-2. Belted center field, going back in his bar, still going, racing, looking up. It's off the base of the wall. Whether he threw it where he wanted to, we're not quite sure, but Davis wanted to throw the fastball, and Pierce was ready for it.
Yeah, ball left over in the middle of the plate and up. I tell you, if you're looking at Doug Davis and you're a scout, somebody tells you, okay, we've got this pitcher. He's a left-hander, throws cut fastball, curveball change, but he's going to throw 75% fastballs, and his fastball's about 83. You're going to say to yourself, there's no way this guy's going to pitch in the big leagues. Are you kidding me? It's all relative. He doesn't have to throw 95 to be effective. He needs to be able to mix his breaking ball and put his fastball where he wants to. That particular pitch, he didn't do it.
Curveball is high, 2-0 the count. Doug at 68 pitches. The thing about Doug, he is truly one of the pitchers where, for a manager, they're so conditioned, these major league managers these days, to always take a peek at the pitch count. But he's a guy that he'd be fine throwing 130.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's all about, for Doug, how effective is he at that point. A.J. Hinch has no problem, if Doug is still effective, letting him throw 120 pitches. They're not going to monitor him as closely as the others.
Not at all. It's not. You look at the way he delivers the ball to the plate, it's stress-free all the time, regardless of the situation. Now, he may have mental stress if he's got guys out there. But he's not. He doesn't reach back and throw, throw some fastballs at 83 and then throw one in there at 92. That doesn't happen. It's all about location for him and changing speeds.
Runner at second, and he looks him back. The other thing Doug does very well is control damage. Doug this year, with no one on base, has opponents hitting 305. With runners in scoring position, 228. Doesn't panic much.
Oh, he's been around the block a couple of times, had guys out there before. Interesting scenario right there. Did you see his eyes? Taking a peek in that on deck circle, knowing the count right now, 3-1. Not going to give him a cookie. Got a left-hander standing on deck. He's going to make his pitch where he wants to, or that base is open. It's okay. That's one thing he does. He's not afraid to walk somebody.
No.
Not afraid to put that guy on that base that's empty over there.
You're going to have to hit his pitch. 3-2 to LaRoche. Curveball, ground ball. Stephen Drew takes a look at the runner, realizes his play is at first, and he makes it. Our Athletic trivia question.
Left fielder Brandon Moss.
In what year did the American League and National League umpires combine to work both leagues? In what year?
Interesting.
Like about a 1998 thing. I'll go with that.
Did it coincide with interleague play?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Was that for me or him?
I think it was for me. 1998, I believe, is the wrong answer. So interleague started when? 95? The 01 is low. Matt guesses 1995.
I wasn't going to guess 1995.
A moment ago, we just, for the sake of discussion, realized what these umpires have to deal with. Putting it around the strike zone. You stand that gentleman straight up, that's the chest down to the knees.
That's not where he's at when he makes contact.
No.
You have the stride involved.
What he talked about, too. Guys crouch, some don't. Some have long strides where they cave down as they take the pitch, like that.
Taking as an example, standing in the box, not even striding. Can you imagine what the strike zone would look like for Rickey Henderson?
Oh, I agree.
It'd be about 6 inches total. The way he bent over.
3-2 the count. Tried to backdoor a cut fastball. Now, obviously, this is our own box, so this is what these guys deal with. That's the human interpretation. Hot shot. There is Augie. Up, over, out. Just a routine little lazy ground ball to second base.
Mark Grace has an answer for the trivia.
Oh, does he?
By the way, yes.
Well, he can't guess himself. It's a Gila River Casinos hit it and win inning. You hit that sign out there, lucky fan watching on Fox Sports Arizona wins the jackpot of $520,000. Rob Bentley can buy one if he wins it. It grows by $10,000 every time. Visit dbacks.com/hit and win. Rob, they like to call him Rolls Royce Bentley. We wish him good luck. Pitch is high from Ohlendorf. That great trivia question about when did the umpires from the American League and the National League, when did they merge? Breaking ball is away.
So this is a long text, so I'm going to summarize. All right, so Gracie texts me. He's in Detroit. He's in Detroit right now at Polish.
Oh, no. Does it say Hamtramck?
Yeah.
Hamtramck.
I don't think he spelled it correctly, but I think that's what he meant.
That's over the outside corner. My in-laws, and of course my family visits there a lot in the summer. It's Polish Village. Great restaurant in Hamtramck. Good to see he's got a little local flavor. Hamtramck. All right, so what's going on?
So he's got, I don't know, he rambles. Generally, it's just a one-word answer or a year answer.
That man rambling around the bases. Stephen Drew with yet another extra base hit. As much as I look forward to his at-bats lately, I'm looking forward to the answer from my other broadcast partner, Mark Grace. First this.
Look how flat that bat is. At his finish, it's no higher than his shoulder. That's why he's hitting a lot of balls. We think a lot of doubles, mixing in a triple here and there. So here's Gracie's answer. He rambles, but it's something to do with He's not really sure what year in particular it was. It could be his rookie year, which was like 1982. It could be one of the years I won a Gold Glove, which was 4 different years.
Bumped it beautifully. And in time for the out. Runner moves up to third, trying to break up that shutout.
Nice play in the game. Or one of the years in which I was an all-star. So it was
just all about him then.
I don't know. I really don't know. But that's his answer.
The year I was the rookie, the year I was an all-star, one of the many years I won a Gold Glove.
In other words, his answer, Mark Grace.
Unbelievable. 2000. In the year 2000. Boy, he has really taken narcissism to the next level.
Goodness gracious.
At the
Hamtramck
Polish village in Hamtramck as the pitch is high. Oh, I just got one. He just sent me a note, said, by the way, tell all the folks I'm watching on my iPhone. And so he's actually watching. Be careful what you say. I think you're in big trouble. MLB.TV on his iPhone. That's how he knew the question. Swing and a miss.
You know, if he knew how to work an iPhone.
It's a work in progress for him.
Is it? He'll get it.
He loves it because it's the iPhone.
Ah, there you have it.
He wanted to have the company name it the Mark Grace phone.
They didn't go for that?
No. Oh, my goodness. No replay needed. Goodbye.
With a runner on third and less than 2 out, the objective at worst is to hit a fly ball to the outfield. There's no better pitch than a hanging curveball to elevate, and Justin didn't miss that. It's interesting. You sit on the bench and you watch your teammates play. When they hit one like that, there's a different sound. It makes a different sound off the bat.
Changeup runs down and in. 1-0 the count for Justin Upton. That is 18 home runs. That is 59 runs batted in. Just a quick reminder of the obvious. He's 21 years old. That sound you're speaking of, we're about to listen.
Well, it gets loud.
The 1-1. Good pitch. Grabs the outside corner. Don't forget, by the way, if the runs keep piling up, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day. Good 2-strike pitch. Didn't go there. By the way, in that home run by Justin Upton, I'm sure our good friend Rob Rolls-Royce Bentley was getting a little excited as it sailed out to deep left. Of course, he is the contestant in our Gila River Casinos hit and win promotion.
Yeah, it was just a little left of the target.
There's another good guy, though. I'll tell you, no offense to anybody else, but if I know I have a shot at maybe Upton, Reynolds, and Montero all in the same inning.
You're feeling pretty good?
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take my chance at winning $520,000. The 3-2. Outside, it's a walk. Ollendorf furious with himself there.
He threw a couple of good pitches. Threw a great changeup to Mark to get him to 2 strikes, and then missed with a couple of fastballs.
Catcher Miguel Montero.
Ross Ollendorf, of course, began his professional career as a member of these Diamondbacks. 4th-round pick in 2004. In January of 2007, part of a package that brought Randy Johnson from the Yankees to Arizona. And then he was picked up by the Pirates from the Yankees last July. And the Xavier Nady deal with Damaso Marte was a 5-player deal. Mark McClune a little bit more on Ross Ohlendorf.
Yeah, A.J. Hinch was actually, in charge of the minor league system when Ohlendorf was in the Diamondbacks minor league system, promoted him from single A to double A. He said he's the only player he ever had ask for time off from baseball to finish his thesis. Ohlendorf's thesis was on the evolution of the bonus in Major League Baseball. Ohlendorf, a Ivy League guy, a Princeton graduate, and took time away, finished his thesis, came back to play baseball.
Thank you very much, Mark. Glad you got that in. I would know AJ shared that with Mark. He was sharing that with us before the game. A very intelligent young man, a Princeton man. He'll get a visit from his pitching coach. Yeah, brains like that out on the mound. You know, Joe Kerrigan knows he needs to bring his A game. He can't just come out there and just halfway coach, because this guy can dissect everything you're saying with his brains.
Yeah, you imagine that Joe Kerrigan's out there right now saying, hey, look, I don't care where you went to school.
That's what I thought you'd say. That's what I thought you'd say. He always brings us back around, that man, William.
He probably wasn't saying that, but you never know.
You saw the folks getting tuned up for the redhead section, by the way, coming up Tuesday night. Got to pack it out. Fouled back to the screen. It's out there in right field. Don't forget, Tuesday, July 28th, the game against the Phillies. Tickets are just $20. You get the T-shirt, sit above that Phillies bullpen. Proceeds benefit the Diamondbacks Foundation. Each ticket comes with the Redheads T-shirt. 602-514-8400 or dbacks.com/redheads. There's Big Red. And I have a few announcements to make about this section as well, as if we're not getting enough things into the show this evening.
I can't wait.
As that one drives him back to the bag. We will be out there with our cameras and with our eyes on you. For the next Redhead section that you saw coming up next month, we will have a couple of free tickets for those who have the best signs, those who have the best costumes. I'm going to give away about 15 tickets at least, maybe 20.
Really?
To the best Redheads on the evening for the next Redhead section. That one drilled deep left center field toward the gap. It goes. Towards the sign it goes. But it's off the wall.
They just continue to be red hot. This is Miguel Montero in a nutshell, right? Granted, he hits some balls. He gets into counts where he can pull the ball to right field. But his strength is right here. Middle of the diamond to left center field. It's his best power. It's where he's most comfortable hitting the baseball. And he can drive it that way.
And one final thought about the goodies that Gracie and I will be giving away out in the Redhead section. You know how it works. You have a blast. You wear the T-shirt. You work as a community. You cheer for the team. You'll be cheering for Dan Herron against Cole Hamels.
Ooh.
Just another reason to come and raise the roof out there in right field. I got a lot of goodies I'm giving away.
That'll be a good one.
Coming home, it's thrown away. Now right behind, racing to the plate. They're all diving. Out at the plate, says James Hoy. Well, let's see. What tough to tell from that angle. It looks like he might have got him if he swiped him at all on the backside.
Difficult to tell. You know, the glove is there. It's a question of whether he was able to reach far enough to tag him before Miguel's hand touched the base. Base paths, I like that. I like that. Now, as opposed to getting picked off, I like the aggressiveness here.
Looks like he had just got him on the shoulder right there. Want to be a big league umpire, folks?
Once again, from what we can see, they got it right.
I mean, and within tenths, if not hundredths of a second.
Huh?
And he was in position. One and one to count. Of course, remember, that's the catcher that will be right by the umpire that just called him out. 2-1 to count.
Yeah, do you think they'll have a discussion about that after this half inning?
I would imagine. Can't be very long, though.
No.
His pitcher's, even though he's grinding through, it's working on a shutout. Got to consider that. The 2-1. Breaking ball, 2-2 the count. There's a rule that, after I've done this for about 2 or 3 years, decided to go ahead and institute. If it takes you 2, 3, 4, 5 looks and you're still close to being indecisive up here, then there's no wrong call.
Yeah.
I mean, we think, but it's that close. That's how close it was. The 2-2. Bouncing ball. And look at that. Tim Welke. Look how easy that call.
That's a piece of cake.
I mean, my goodness.
Anybody can be a big league umpire.
James Hoyt says, now wait a minute. Now this is a call.
I think Gracie saw that.
So it was a civil conversation. Miguel had a couple of questions about it. We obviously can't hear it, but it was civil. And then there was a point where Miguel Montero pulled the mask on and it was over. He realized he had a job to do.
That's right. Speak your mind. Oh, maybe might have got in there. Well, I didn't have you getting in there.
No.
Okay. Well, get back to work.
Jack Wilson pops it into the seats.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd really like to see somebody foul a ball off into the next booth over here, have the governor catch it and give him a contract.
Really?
Yeah.
That one is out to third. On across the diamond. This is what we're talking about. All right. A few more things. All right. Now I'm going to work. Here's the pitcher, Ross Ollendorf, who smacked the ball to right field. I mean, smacked it for a base hit, right center field. Gerardo Parra took an RBI away. Gunning down a base runner at the plate. Brandon Moss. Ollendorf before that was 1 for 44 in his career.
Wow, he stepped up there the first time like he does it every day.
Breaking ball is in there. And then there's the thing about left-handers. You see the other number going against these Pirates pitchers. Talk about grinding some numbers in your notes. This is incredible. Pirates pitchers have gone a combined 1 for 47 against left-handed pitchers this year.
Really? That's grinding.
So the stars align. And literally in the notes it says, with a question mark, Jimmy T, Jim Trudinich doing a great job. Are the stars aligned? Well, yes, they were in that first at bat. And now they're not.
Not so much here.
Going back to Miguel Montero and how you speak with an umpire. Looked like he handled it just fine. Let's have Jim Reynolds explain the right and the wrong way to converse with an umpire.
If somebody listens to me, understands me, and respects what I do, that's what they'll get back. If somebody from the first pitch that I call to the last pitch that I call on them every single game is shaking their head, doesn't have any time for me, crying wolf all the time, we're going to have a different relationship. It's just the way it is. And I'm not going to let a pitcher stand out there and shake his head all day. I'm not going to let a batter turn around on every pitch, nor would I let a catcher.
You get back what you give, in other words.
Human beings.
James N. Reynolds IV, born in Massachusetts, makes his home here in the Valley. And he graduated from the University of Connecticut with a degree in journalism, communications journalism.
Really? So, I know I'm just kind of fill in on occasion. I wouldn't want to trade places with him right now.
No?
I'm sure he'd love to come up here and do what we're doing tonight.
Did a nice job, was well spoken.
I don't want that job.
No?
No.
What do you mean? It's so easy.
No thanks, man. No thanks.
My goodness. That one is away. Our Quest high-speed internet. High-speed pitch, keeping an eye on the velocity for Ollendorf and Davis. And you see Ollendorf getting the 94. And Dougie reaching up high, 88.
What's Dougie thinking of 88?
The 3-2. Blind into left field. Here comes Romero. This one he's got. Was torched early in the ball game by a line drive. He said, not again. John Hirschbeck, I mean, square off the mask. They visited. Barry Weinberg spent time. They visited, continued to have a conversation, and finally had to leave the ball game. A rotation, and it was only a three-man crew, but for a lot of us, I think, out there, watching a Major League Baseball game and thinking about just a normal fear factor. Obviously, you played out there what was called the hot corner. I would imagine that these guys, I guess, get to the point just like you did when you were playing third base. You can't think about things like that.
You'll never be effective. I mean, again, the underlying theme with all of the conversations that we've heard thus far tonight has been, we want to get the call right. So, in an effort to get the call right, they have to put all of that out of their mind. They stand there behind the plate with that guy throwing as hard as he can, and the guy swinging at it. Look at the catcher's equipment as compared to their equipment. They wear very little equipment. Granted, they've got shin guards. Granted, they've got a chest protector, but it's nothing like a catcher has.
No.
And they've got to put themselves back there and get the call right.
That was Doug warming before the game. 0-1 the count. Yeah, you're right. Their equipment is enough to go under a pair of slacks and a golf shirt.
Yeah.
0-2 the count. It was, if I'm not mistaken, the other night, line drive back through the middle. Who was that nearly got taken out? Yeah, it was. It was James Hoy.
Justin Upton, line one.
That's right, early in the game.
Right at it.
Bouncing ball. Right behind there watching the play was Todd Tishner. He tonight is the second base umpire. We addressed the concept of the fear factor in being with live baseballs on a field of play.
If there is a fear factor, it's gone on the jump ball. I mean, it's gone in the first pitch. You got to start getting things right. So you no more, you know, I'm in trouble, I'm not in trouble. It's I want to get this right, and that's all that's what I'm paid to do.
I know that's right in your wheelhouse, that answer.
They don't have gloves on. They can't catch it. So if it's coming at them, you see it all the time. See, especially with umpires on the lines. They're standing on that line, and they have to make a call whether the ball's fair or foul. Well, they stand there. If a left-handed hitter is hitting and the first base umpire is standing on the line, that ball's hit, it's hooking right at it. Same with the guy on third base. So they're standing there. They have to stay there so they can make sure that that ball's fair or foul. And that ball's coming at them at 120 miles an hour and bearing down on them. They don't have a choice. Without a glove on their hand, like the rest of the guys out there have.
Which we forget sometimes. There is no glove.
There's no glove.
Home plate umpire, no catcher's mitt.
Nope.
0-2 the count. That pitch runs up and in. 1-2. This is Ohlendorf's first ever opportunity to face the club that gave him a chance to begin his pro career in 2004. With his stuff, he has been much more successful against lefties than righties. Boy, that breaking ball plays to both lefties and righties. That's a standing pitch straight down. Not a bad outing tonight overall. That one much better.
Now when we kick one, when we miss one, which is going to happen, we try to be perfect, but we're not. We take it harder than anybody else. And you know, there's been nights when you don't sleep because you're tossing and turning about that you had something to do with who won or lost. And as long as it's a good game when we have nothing to do with who wins or loses.
Into the seats that one goes. That, of course, is Tim Welke. And they constantly, not only are they evaluated, but Tim was saying, I always go in and immediately watch, evaluate myself.
Sure. You want to make sure you got it right.
Good pitch away. A rare straight fastball.
Have you ever been in that situation? We all have. Not necessarily as umpires, but you say to yourself, was that right?
Oh,
you
absolutely.
make a call in the second inning and you have to grind on it for 7 innings. You want to go in and make sure.
That's a cut fastball after the straight fastball. So he went away with maybe a 4-seamer, if not a 2-seamer. Then he ran it in. By the way, 82 and 80.
That's 3 times tonight.
Right fielder Garrett Jones.
Quick update, by the way, that's 3 times tonight against the guy who coming in was 17 for 34 against him. And don't think he didn't remember all 17 of those hits.
It started with the first at bat. You know, he made good pitches the first at bat.
Having covered Doug in Milwaukee and seeing him pitch so many times against Pittsburgh, they've had his number. I've seen him have a tough time with these Pirates. This is his 21st start in his career against the Pirates. Diving attempt by Augie Ojeda, and finally Garrett Jones finds a way to get on. The improbable Pirates debut for this man, who is 28 years old, played 7.5 seasons in the minor leagues, just continues.
I don't get it. Where's he been?
That's what I thought. Where has he been? Well, he hopes to not go anywhere.
Well, he's making a great case right now, isn't he?
Oh my goodness, an awkward swing at that cut fastball. They'll get 97 pitches, but as we said earlier, this is a guy that you look at the results as much as you do the pitch count, if not more so. Fouled off.
Yeah, the typical scenario when Doug gets tired, when you know things start to go awry, he starts missing the strike zone, starts missing. Haven't seen that. Regardless of pitch count, if he's throwing strikes when he needs to, of course, that wasn't a strike. That's how he's evaluated.
One and two the count. So that's how he is evaluated, as it is said, in the dugout. Interestingly enough, he's also being evaluated by others right now.
Lots of folks down there that are not real familiar to Diamondbacks fans. Clearly they're from other teams.
The scouts.
It's constant, isn't it?
Good stuff there from Doug Davis. Let's take a look up high. Another cut fastball and a strikeout. Up high with that rooftop solar camp. Doug likes to work up in the zone, not that high. APS reminds you, visit APS.com to manage your energy bill. Find the plan that works best for you. 2 outs. Here's Steve Pearce.
We look down in that section right behind home plate where the scouts sit. There's scouts there every night. Generally, they're scouts for teams that are going to be upcoming series for the Diamondbacks. But it's especially intense this time of year and with this club.
Those are advanced scouts, correct?
Yeah, generally they're advanced scouts, so they'd be taking notes about Phillies advanced scouts, or maybe for the next road trip, the first city the Mets scouts would be here evaluating and getting an idea. This time of year, however, if there's an interest from a team in a particular player, they will come follow that particular player, or if it's a pitcher, in Doug Davis's case, they'll make sure that they're here for his start. Write their report, send it back to the front office so they can have some information to make a decision on a possible trade potential.
Changeup misses high. 3-0 the count. But if you're shopping, you have to call the man who runs the store.
And I would imagine over the last 30 days or so, his phone has been white hot.
3-1 the count.
Talked to him about it last night. It's got to be the right fit for your organization too. Granted, you have people calling that have interest in players. It's got to fit right for you too, or you just don't make the deal for the sake of making the deal.
How about that 3-ball 1-strike pitch, a curveball?
Gives you an idea of what he feels right now.
You're right, command.
He feels that he can throw that pitch for a strike at any time.
Tossing a shutout, 106 pitches. 3-2, just missed. It was low. It was down below the strike zone. Let's take a peek on out at our Ride Now Power Sports pool cam. What's going on with our good friends out there? Everyone having a good time.
She was out there last night. She would have had a chance to catch that home run ball from Ryan Roberts.
I know. Hello? Hey, folks. Good to see you. Hello?
Give us a wave. Something.
Bouncer off the plate. Souvenir. Not nearly contract worthy. Hello? Yep, hello. Just a wave. Maybe anyone? There we go. That's, I guess, good enough. There we go. Last time we're showing them. 0-1. We love the pool. Love Ride Now Power Sports. No one's waving. 3-0 the score.
It's all right.
They're dialed into this game, hoping to see Doug get back in the dugout. Boom, a change up and a dandy as it's fouled right back. 1-2 the count. Well, now Doug, because he's at 110 and has some base runners, he's a bit in peril, if you will. Has that bullpen moving around a little bit. Gutierrez is down.
Got some stress, and we talked about it. It's not necessarily physical stress for Doug, more mental stress because he doesn't rely on power to get hitters out.
Missed his spot, but still popped up to left field. Doug Davis continues with the shutout of the Pirates here at Chase Field. Will he come back out? We'll see. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. So the conversation with the manager down there talking with the starting pitcher. The bullpen still working. Is the starting pitcher done? Is the story. As that one is high, Ollendorf somehow, and this is what we talk about, that he's had a pretty good outing as he works here in the 6th inning. He's thrown 70 pitches. And that one is low. He had an inning just get away from him in that 4th inning. He ran into Justin Upton after Drew had doubled, was bunted over. He walked Reynolds. And then a wild throw cost him another run. He pitched well. High fly ball, well struck into left field. Moss over, under, and out. Major League Baseball umpire camp for those that are interested. MLBumpirecamps.com. MLBumpirecamps.com. November 8th through the 15th in Long Beach, California. Can't even imagine how incredible that would be.
And it's work, too.
Breaking ball, a good one, but it's low. 1-0 the count.
Imagine working the plate, right? Folks out there listening, they go to work out, right? They work out.
Sure.
Think they're in shape. Can you do 300 squats in 3 hours?
And make split-section decisions at the same time?
That's what the home plate umpire does every night. Figure 300 pitches per game,
sure.
Roughly. He's got to stretch it out in between.
By the way, there's no sitting down. All the players get to sit. Coaches get to sit. Everyone gets to sit.
And they have to ask to get a cup of water.
Guys are going up to the clubhouse. Maybe making themselves a Dagwood sandwich between innings.
Dagwood.
Enjoying being a big leaguer. 1,900 bottles of Gatorade you can drink from.
See, that's what pitchers talk about, folks. Pitchers and ex-pitchers talk about eating during the game. Position players, there's no time.
No, I don't believe that for 1 second.
There's no going to the clubhouse.
That's ball 4.
Only pitchers do that.
Behind home plate, Jim Reynolds says, you wake up in your hotel that morning and it's going to be a different day when you're working behind the plate.
I think sometimes people describe it as nervous, but it's not. For me, it's more anxious. I know that I'm going to have to make 300 split decisions here in the next 3 to 4 hours, depending on who's playing or pitching. So I'm more anxious. I know that there's a lot more opportunity to kind of get in trouble, for lack of a better word, but I'm going to have to make a lot more decisions, I think.
So you're speaking of not only the physical, but the mental grind.
So when you're physically tired, it's easy to make a mistake.
So I can't let this get too far down the river. You mean to tell me that you never ate anything during a big league game as a ball player?
Never. If I was playing.
Really?
Now, there are.
I'm not kidding. I'm not saying you're going to eat a hamburger.
Ask your regular broadcast partner when he gets back. We had these days that were called eating days. Those days are the days you don't play.
So you're not in the lineup?
Not in the lineup. And that day, it's all about the Dagwood.
Really?
During the game, before the game, after the game, didn't matter. But I would imagine that Gracie's got the same feeling, knowing him.
There's one. There's two. A fine double play and a turn out there by Freddie Sanchez.
When you're playing, no time to eat.
As we see this fine play, with all due respect, goodness sakes, I wish I believed you. umpires have been tonight. Todd Tischner very busy at second. James Hoy ringing him up at home plate. Tim Welke taking that picture as he explained to us. Jim Reynolds, that's a fair ball. But you're out. Now that, he'll tell you, is a little bit easier. On top of it at the plate, James Hoy. And here they are, the men. I call them men in black now because they wear black, but traditionally called the men in blue. Major League Baseball's umpiring crew tonight.
Oh, and by the way, just so you know, when you come to the ballpark, everybody tends to call the umpire, "Hey, Blue."
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that.
Not a big fan of just blue?
No. They don't like it. Mr. Umpire, ump, sir, by their first name if you know them.
Right.
No blue.
So the key to the game, which the truck came up with.
No, come on, really?
Juan Gutierrez for his 41st appearance of the year. Bouncing ball, Chad Tracy, a nice play. Hovering Gutierrez. And a great job there, Chad Tracy. Big Red flashing some left.
Shortstop, Jack Wilson.
Nice play by Chad. There are a couple of hot corners on the field.
Mm-hmm. How about Doug, by the way, folks? 6 innings, 5 hits, shutout baseball, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, 111 pitches.
Pretty stellar.
He got right back on track.
He did.
He had struggled a couple of times last few starts against Colorado after the break, Florida before the break. Well, they're watching. Two 2-0 the count. Last 4 outings for Gutierrez. 4 1/3 innings, including that first out. Hitters 1 for 12 against him. The 2-0. Wilson, high fly left field. He didn't get it, though. That one doesn't travel all the way out of here. It stays in the park. Speaking of travel, these umpires, there's no chartered planes like big league teams get to go on. Let's speak of that. Major League Baseball umpire travel.
That's the hardest part. I mean, the travel, being away from home, that takes a beating on you. We were talking about it today. We flew in from Kansas City. We had a 6 a.m. flight. We got to Dallas, then flew Dallas to here. We got in at 1 o'clock, had to go get a rental car, make sure the hotel's room's ready at 1 o'clock. So the travel every 3-4 days, that, you know, it takes a beating on you.
It's more like minor league travel. I mean, these are major league umpires, but when you're in AAA, you fly commercial and you go 6 a.m. flights town to town.
Well, they make their own travel arrangements. So can you imagine? We don't have it here because we've got a roof we can close. But what about a rain delay? What about a rain delay on getaway day, and you've got your flight
Sunday evening
made,
flight,
and it's the last time that those particular teams are going to see each other all year, and the home team decides, well, we're just going to wait and play this one out. We'll wait all night. Well, the umpires have to wait too. They miss their flight. Not easy.
But by the way, they missed their flight, and they better be, if they're in Seattle, they better be in Los Angeles for tomorrow night's game.
Yeah, the game can't be played.
That's exactly right.
We've seen it. We've seen umpires out there and heard the stories about, well, they lost their luggage.
And they wear the uniforms.
And they wear the uniforms. They have no shame.
They don't like that, though.
Well, they don't like
Look
it.
how sharp their uniforms are. But they're there to work, is the point.
Yeah. They don't like it, but what do you do? I mean, yeah, as a baseball player on a baseball team at the big league level, your uniforms are taken care of. There's no losing the luggage.
That one sails to the backstop. Yeah, if you folks have never seen it, when the luggage doesn't make it, if they have to race to an extra flight, they will, in fact, if they have to, and in all umpires' rooms, umpires have their own locker rooms. All umpires' rooms will have some of the basics. I mean, but you can get together some catcher's gear from the home team. You can put something together, and then you're wearing maybe trainer's pants and an Astros sweat jacket if you're in Houston. That is strike 3. 1, 2, 3. Gutierrez, another solid inning.
Tonight, the guest, none other than the big man, D-backs president and CEO Derek Hall. Will take some of your questions from Facebook. And a reminder, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we've got some more great guests, so make sure you tune in after the game. Guys, we'll send it back to you. Can't wait to talk to that man right there, Derek Hall, former sportscaster. The guy knows his stuff. He'll join us after the game. Back to you.
Well done. Oh, he's an Emmy Award winner, by the way.
He is.
Oh, you bet. Oh, Matty, look at that. Oh, you got a Matt Williams sign. I love that. Oh, I'll tell you.
Thank you so much.
Speaking of Emmys, this has been an Emmy-style night for you, my friend. You have really brought it.
I would love to win an Emmy.
Would you?
Win a World Series. You know, you want to be good at what you do, right?
Sure.
Granted, part-time guy. It would be special. I'm telling you.
Well, you never know. That one is fouled into the seats. But you've got yourself a sign. We have Tom Candiotti signs. We have Matt Williams signs.
Well, the sign said it, but is it official? Am I officially big league now?
You are big league. Do you even have to ask? 0-1 the count to Miguel Montero.
So good.
That's what I do. 0-2. I just sit up here and lift up the people I work with.
You know,
all I am
generally, that's a difficult job, I'm sure, with your partner.
All I am is meek when I am around guys like you and Mark Grace. That's all I am.
Speaking of meek.
Boy, well done by you.
I'm getting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm getting there.
0-2 the count.
Tee me up, pal.
Wow, go Meek. I think go Meek is good advice. No good is that one. Holding on to it, Montero is tagged out. So Meek with a strikeout.
That curveball was not Meek.
Not at all. Next, bottom fell out of it. Evan Meek, Washington native, out of Bellevue, Washington. Taking a look out of town at our free credit report. Out of town scoreboard. Know your score. Visit freecreditreport.com. Well, the Yankees tried to come back in that ball game. Homers late. They didn't do it. The Tigers beat the White Sox 4-3. And then the Phillies way too much for the Cardinals because Matt Holliday doesn't pitch.
I tell you, they have some kind of offense, huh? Balanced, right and left.
In on the hands. Flip to Meek, who steps in the bag in time for the out. Mark McClune with more on something near and dear to the hearts of these umpires working tonight.
Yeah, tonight we're behind the scenes on the field. Last year we went behind the scenes off the field. The crew of Laz Diaz, Mike Winters, and Wally Bell visited Phoenix Children's Hospital, handing out teddy bears to children with cancer. It's one of the many charitable initiatives of the Umps Care program. Now, to learn more and possibly support the program, log on to umpscare.com. You can even join the Umps and help this program out, signing up for their golf marathon November the 11th at Augusta Ranch Golf Club. Heard a lot of stories about visits like this to the hospital. When at that golf tournament last year, I got the chance to play in it, and also heard a lot of stories about these guys' first trip up when they got called up to the big leagues. It's a big deal for an umpire, also, you know, to get called up to the big leagues and make a debut.
Thank you, Mark. That's great stuff. umpscare.com.
Yeah, it is a big deal. Toil in the minor leagues for who knows how long, and all of a sudden they get to the place with the third deck. Yeah, that's adrenaline for them too.
Romero, deep drive, right field. Coming back is John, still going, and he's got it. Meek sets the Diamondbacks down 1-2-3, but it's Arizona with the lead on top of Pittsburgh, 3-0. Go to Southwest.com, grab your bag. It is on. Before the ball game. That's what the umpire sees.
All right, here we go.
Jeff Matuza says, all right, here we go. This is for real.
The Arizona Diamondbacks would like to welcome the Arizona.
That's Doug getting tuned up to start the game. I want to thank, obviously, Tooz and Doug Davis. Where was that pitch? Where'd you have that pitch at home? Where was that? That's what they have to put up with all the time.
Are you kidding me? That's a ball?
Are you kidding me? That probably goes over well.
Hey, punch a hole in that mask. Maybe you'll be able to see it. Yeah, all kinds of things.
Both ways.
Come on, Blue. Don't call me Blue.
That one bounces in there.
You know, there's a reason that they call him Blue. For a long time, they wore blue shirts. They had the big blue, remember the big blue chest protector?
Absolutely. Sport coats. They used to wear sport coats back in the day.
Oh, yeah. So did managers at one point.
Mm-hmm. The good news is that tradition hasn't left. We wear sport coats right here on Fox Sports Arizona.
I know I do when I work.
Little top and the play is made. Nothing's changed, though, with regard to them looking out for one another, keeping an eye on one another. They can wear sport coats or golf shirts or wear blue or black. The mentoring is day to day.
I first met Tim Welke and John Hirschbeck, two of my mentors, two of the guys that I've had the privilege to work a lot with in the big leagues. So you start watching how they work. You start asking them questions. So as far as idolizing, maybe not so much, but having people kind of take under their wing, it's absolutely invaluable in this job. And those are two of the guys. One of the other things about being a young umpire, it's a very small fraternity, and all the senior guys really are looking out for all of us.
Looking out for one another. Jim Reynolds actually had an easy call there. It was Mark Reynolds with the challenge. And he was up to the challenge.
What does that do for you? That's a nice play.
And a nice ovation, just ending a standing ovation for Mark Reynolds. Think they like this kid here in Arizona, folks? You guys
nice.
like him?
That's nice to see, too. You know, fans standing up and acknowledging a great play like that. It's a good play.
That one is fouled back. We're questioning the effort of that man.
You know, it changes perception too. You know, it would be really nice that regardless of how it all finishes up at the end of this year, and we've seen it a little bit already. They're not talking about how many times Mark Reynolds is striking out.
No.
They're talking about him diving in the stands. They're talking about that play. They're talking about him driving the ball to right center field. There's no talk about the strikeout anymore. And that is well deserved because, yeah, he's going to strike out. It's going to happen. But you know what? He's making himself into a well-rounded, complete player. It's nice to see. And where is this kid?
I was waiting for that as you were praising Mark.
My goodness.
2 for 2 in his last 2 at-bats with singles, 2 for 4 overall. We're going to show you this one more time.
Wonderful.
Ryan Domet, that shift stays. 3 defenders between first and second as John Roush pours it in. John, in his last 22 games since late May, has an ERA of 1.90. On base plus slugging against just 528. A little number. That shift is on, by the way. How about that? Funny how these things work out sometimes. Domet with a single.
Well, you're playing the percentages. Sometimes it just doesn't work. You know, the majority of the time, Domet from the left side is going to pull the baseball. That was a changeup that he nubbed off the end of the bat. Sometimes it works against you.
That's the key, though. You just said it. He nubbed it off the end of the bat. He didn't stay back and drive it to that hole. That was a poor swing, really, if we're going to break it down. It was a great pitch. He was way out front.
Great pitch, executed perfectly, exactly what Big John wanted to do. It just found a hole.
That's all.
That happens.
He didn't beat the defense, though.
No.
Just a little bit low as the fastball is poured in there. Just for the sake of comparison, John's first 22 games, the ERA last 22, 1.9, 7.23 the first 22. And that on-base plus slugging was over 900 against him.
That's been the pitch right there. Although that one wasn't a strike, the ability of John Roush to throw the breaking ball for a strike early in the count has been the key to his success. He's got a good fastball. He's 6'11" and can throw the ball downhill, but his breaking ball sets up everything else.
3-0 the count. Those two numbers we told you about with Roush against him the first times through. 913 OPS. Anything between 850 and 1,000 is all-star caliber if you're a hitter. That 528, that's below Mendoza. Mendoza's about 650 for on-base plus slugging. So, there's been a lot of Mendoza hitters against him. Could it be a 4-out save? Three and one the count. Pierce tonight doubled, struck out, walked. He's got 4 hits in this series. He's 4 for 10 in this series. Came in just getting ready back in the big leagues. Bouncing ball. Mark Reynolds. Mark, take us to break. Mark, guess what? One more time we ask you to take us to break. Who's done what with the bat in their hands? We asked that question. Nova Home Loans gives us the answer. Stephen Drew, just enough than a home run early. Mark Reynolds fine defensively and offensively. And Augie Ojeda doubled, now was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple. And that was an easy call for Jim Reynolds. Reynolds able to stay at third and make that call, but it would have been different if that would have been a ball deep into the gaps. You see these umpires, when a ball takes off in an alley somewhere, have to go out. Is it cleanly caught? Does it go over that line? but then they rotate and communicate. It has to happen.
Yeah. One of those umpires leaves, there's 4 bases and 3 umpires. So they have to rotate depending on whether that ball goes into the gap. They know nobody has to cover first because they're going to make it to second at least. So it's all about it. The rest of them rotating to get in position to make the proper call at a particular base. It's well orchestrated.
Augie, down the line it goes. Heading towards the corners. You thinking about 3 one more time? Not that time. Not that time for Augie Ojeda. When you talk about balls that head to the outfield, you talk about rotating. It didn't occur there, but it does. Listen to Bill Welke.
Somebody's always responsible for the baseball, even if it's what's called like a can of corn to left field, which is the high easy one he's going to catch. An umpire's always going to go out on that ball, which means we have 3 men. We're left with 3 men. If the third base umpire goes out, then the 3 men have to cover the 4 bases. So everybody has assignments to do. It's just like on line drives where there's multiple runners or pop-ups. That stuff to us becomes all routine, but there's always a responsibility, and everybody knows what their responsibility is.
This is the last night. You can see umpire in the outfield, home plate umpire rotating up. Yep, he got it. Jim Reynolds rotating up to make the call there. As that one sliced the other way. Tim Welke, by the way, his brother Bill, as I misaddressed him, is on vacation. Tim Welke with that soundbite.
Next time you come to the ballpark and watch the game, pay attention. Pay attention to the umpires and what they do. It's another side of the game. You know, we see it from time to time as we're talking about the game, or it flashes on the screen. You can get the glimpse of an umpire giving signals to the other umpires. You don't know what those mean. They have their own signals, but it's signaling the other umpires, if this happens, here's where I'm going to be. It's interesting how they rotate and how they know their responsibilities. So next time you come to a game and a ball goes in the gap, it's really easy to watch the ball and watch the runner. If you can, take a look at the umpires and see what they do. Learn a lot about the game that way.
So many things to see. Come on out. Sometimes best seen in person. That is an out. Let's hope everyone's okay. So far it looks like it. They're all okay.
Boy, it amazes me. It amazes me how fortunate we've been. That thing weighs a couple of pounds, folks, and it's got a sharp end on one of the ends.
I like those bats. I like them.
Yeah, it gets me thinking. We've got a bat sitting up here in booth. We've been talking about it all night, how big this bat is and how long it is and how much it weighs. But there's a theme that's going on these days. The handles of these bats are getting a lot thinner.
That one kicks away, but Ojeda stays put.
Talk about ash as compared to any other bat and how it shatters and ash doesn't come off and the head of the bat doesn't go flying. It's partly that, but it's also, in my opinion, how thin that handle is. Because when you break a bat that's got a thin handle, as opposed to some of the bats from the past, they had thicker handles. They didn't break as easy, and they didn't shatter so much and have the whirly-bird effect into the stands. It's partly the bat. It's partly the model or the trend today with the thin handles.
Okay, well, if that's the case, better take those nets on around with bats flying like that. So be it. I mean, Matty, if it's not all the maple, then
doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter whether it's the bat, the handle, whatever it is. Got to keep folks safe.
Yeah. 3-0 the count. Sorry, not to get all dramatic on you folks. Just get scared when one of our own and our old friends down there who came to this ball game, you get scared. It's just natural. Taking a look ahead at what's brewing. Good fans out here. Want to keep you all safe. Max Scherzer, fireballer on the mound. Virgil Vasquez on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Opponents have fared very nicely against Vasquez. See if they can keep it up. And then the world champion Phillies at Chase on Monday.
By the way, that guy could use a good outing.
Oh, you bet. An efficient one as well.
Yeah, he could use getting deep into a game again. He had a streak there where he was getting deep pretty regular.
So for Meek, he has to deal now with runners on first and third. Ojeda with that double moves on over after the ground out. And he drives him back to the bag. Matt Williams continues a busy weekend tomorrow as he moves over to the Diamondbacks radio network. Grinding it, I like it.
I am a great caddy.
Coming to New York City with us next weekend.
I can't wait for that. The Big Apple. Brand new ballpark.
City Field. You'll be busy too because I'm told that might be some Emmy Award ceremonies in the early morning, and we'll see if they can get you if you win anything.
Really?
We'll see. So if
how does that work, by the way? They do it by.
Well, they'll find you by region.
By region.
By region.
Is it by particular game?
Sure.
Or is it over the course of a season? I got you. Okay. Nah, I doubt it.
The Rocky Mountain Southwest chapter just popped into my head. Nubs it the other way. Base hit right up hard. A huge piece of insurance for the Diamondbacks. And Parra continues, though he has ridden low a bit in this category. He is a .351 hitter with runners in scoring position in the major leagues.
That's why right there. He stays on the baseball and uses a big part of the ballpark. It gets monotonous, and you say it time and time again, but it really is the truth. With guys in scoring position, the biggest part of the ballpark is center field and the gaps.
Uses the whole field.
He does.
And does so beautifully. Let that ball travel. Not afraid to get jammed. And when you can see when he jumps and starts swinging at pitches up, then he gets in trouble for a few days.
Like everybody else.
Taking a look back. Nothing doing. Upton went large back in the fourth inning for the 18th time this year. Been a pretty tough go of it for Justin. 373 in May, was the player of the month in the National League. 303 in June. Coming in hitting just 190 in July. Still time left in July, though.
I see signs of him coming out of it.
That
Not
pitch is up and
necessarily,
in.
not necessarily the ball he hit out of the ballpark tonight.
Sure.
The signs that I see of him coming out of it, we talked about it. He drilled the ball first game of this series right at the umpire, the guy in scoring position. At second base, staying on the baseball. Up the middle. It's where he had success before, and he just needs to get back to that.
Hitting at 291. With an on base of 364. The 1-1. Crossed him up. Boy, that's scary to get crossed up at 93. This is the same gentleman the other night, Ryan Doman, that went to catch a pitch out, and his pitcher, Charlie Morton, threw him a slider.
It's funny, the reactions of baseball players. A lot of times, guy makes an error, looks at his glove. When he gets crossed up, first thing he does is look out at his pitcher saying, "But where we hung up here? I gave you two, you threw me one." And we all know it. They go through a different set of signs with the guy on second base. Multiple signs.
That pitch is away. When that pitch was thrown by Morton the other night, as he went to pick up the ball, he shot him a look. I mean, he shot him a look. It was beautiful. They're teammates.
Yeah, of course. Not to jump on pitchers or anything, but some pitchers are a little bit out there. Fair to say?
All right, I'll admit that.
That's fair to say.
3-1 the count. That one on the line, and the runner's down for makes it. That's one! 2 all it goes. 1 is in. Another comes on around. Justin streaking into third with a slide. 6-0 Diamondbacks.
First piece of hitting. The importance of using the big part of the yard. Granted, that did not go to center field, but the approach is key. Breaking ball that hung up. It's so easy for Justin to roll that ball to third base. So easy. But because his approach was to the big part of the diamond, he was able to line that ball to left field, and once he gets it going, it's as good as anybody.
By the way, that is a single, an error on the left fielder, Moss. That is 1 RBI for Justin Upton. And as they gather on the mound and talk about things, that's also 6 runs, Matt Williams. 6 runs. Oh, boy, if you're heading by Taco Bell tomorrow, you will enjoy free tacos between the hours of 4 and 6.
Game day. Day game tomorrow, right?
Day game on the way home.
Oh, man.
You bet. Purchase that large drink.
That's wonderful. So one of my best buddies in the big leagues was a catcher.
Okay.
Came up about the same time, he and I. He was a rookie catcher with a veteran pitching staff. Talk about being crossed up. So he went to the veteran and asked, okay, well, you know, what are the signs? What are we going to use? And the veteran said, well, just regular signs until there's a guy on second base, and then we're going to use 2-5 pump. He said, 2-5 pump, what does that mean? He said, well, if I start with a 2, we're going to count up. Okay, so we can count up to 5, and then we'll roll it over again. He was crossed up 15 times during the game. It was his own fault. He was giving signs. The pitcher knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't know what was coming.
Oh, my goodness. Watch this, by the way. Doman and Morton, the youngster. Pitch out. How about a slider? Now watch this look.
Are you kidding me?
Love that.
Okay, so explain it to me, though. It was a pitch out. He actually pitched out.
Yes.
It wasn't like he was trying to throw the slider on the corner.
No, but there was slider in his mind.
There it is,
Having
folks.
been there, he was thinking slider.
There it is, folks.
He got the sign, pitch out, and as he pulled his feet together, said, all right, here comes the slider.
Pitchers. There you have it.
There are pitchers, and you hope that it's only minor leaguers and not good ones like myself. You'll look in, you'll get the sign as you come set. A lot of times we see a pitcher just step off. It's because in that moment he forgot what he just said yes to. Hot shot down the line. Oh boy. Another. Miguel Montero continues to dominate the National League.
Well, he's got it rolling now. Let him.
Oh, certainly does.
Here's what he's doing well, folks. This is a breaking ball. Okay, when he's right, he hits the breaking ball to his pull side. He'll pull the breaking ball, he'll pull the change up. He'll take the fastball that's thrown to him, he'll hit the ball the opposite way to left center field.
Pitching change is made as we slow this ball game on down. We're looking forward to spending a while with you now. 7-0 the
Arizona
score.
Diamondbacks pitcher
Not over yet.
partnered up with Sanders.
Well, everything you always knew about fantasy football is about to change. Introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with more customizable features and new ways to play. Here's what you do. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football. Donnie Veal goes to work. A man who prepped and played college ball here in Arizona. Against Chad Tracy. Fastball pours it in there at 92 miles an hour. So Qualls, no matter safe situation or not, looks like he'll come on into this ball game. Slider, boy, what a good one. At a Buena High School Veal in Sierra Vista.
That's a situation we've talked about many a time. Chad Qualls was up and hot and ready in case that last batter in the last inning got on base. So you might as well bring him in. He's up and hot, regardless of the situation. You don't necessarily just sit him down because it's not a safe situation anymore, quote unquote. If he's up and ready and he's ready to go, bring him in the game.
And that looks like exactly what AJ will do. Boy, a tough pitch there, not called a strike. 2-2 the count. Boy, had that one sweeping away. That pitch to lay off of if you're Chad Tracy.
Yeah, with not a whole lot of at bats against lefties this year.
No. Out front and to the bat goes Steve Pearce. 3 big outs to get on this night, in which the D-backs lead the Pirates by a score of 7-0. Time to go to work, Chad.
I always say hi to people. If I was walking into an office, if I sold insurance for a living, if I walked in and the secretary's there, I'd say hi. That's how I treat the ball field. That's my office, and I treat people like I would like to be treated. So, you know, the guys that I've been around longer, there's more interaction because I've known them. We have a lot more in common. We have a lot more similar experiences.
That's exactly what we're seeing right there. That's a live shot we just showed you a moment ago. They're both in their office. It's getting near, well, some of us like to say happy hour or quitting time. They just have a little bit of a conversation. That is Jim Reynolds. By the way, we want to thank these umpires. We want to thank the willingness that they showed us to sit down and talk with us, all 4 of them, James Hoyt, Tim Welke, Todd Tishner, Jim Reynolds. I want to thank Mike Port and Jimmy Lee Solomon in Major League Baseball's offices that signed off on this, trusted us. We hope we handled it okay. It was our honor. Our honor. Maddie, excellent job. Your insights.
It's so much fun. I was honored to be a part of it because it gives a different side of the game. You can play it forever, and if you get to see the other side of it, learn a lot. It's great.
Qualls fires a strike. Mark Grace was a part of those sit-down interviews. He bent their ear with some really good experience questions like you would have done if you would have been sitting there. So thank you, Gracie. Watching on your phone.
iPhone.
He's now changed the name of it to the Me phone.
Me, doesn't matter.
2-1 the count. Our entire production crew put in a lot of extra work on this as well. The tape room, instead of having maybe half dozen sound bites ready to roll, about 40. And that all requires editing, so thank you guys. 3-1 the count. Qualls will take a walk. Try and pull himself together.
Yeah, what you don't want here is in a non-save situation to start walking the ballpark. So he'll probably take his time, make sure he's ready to go.
There we go. Pours in a strike. 3-2 the count. Andy LaRoche tonight. 1 for 3. He and Moss were flip-flopped at the last moment in the lineup. Moss is on deck. Fly ball right field. Justin Upton is there. And he puts it away. Well, there's one out. 2 more to get quickly. And we take a look at our poll question. What do you guys think? Just close plays. Hey, you know what? Fair enough, because that's exactly what James Hoy had to deal with. That play at the plate. Ball gets away on a wild throw. A race. I mean, 2 bodies racing to the plate at the same time.
One diving, one sliding.
That's exactly right.
Reaching the glove out there. Did he get him before his hand touched the plate? Tough decisions.
Just a little bit low. 1-0 the count. 8 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock here in Phoenix, Arizona. Chad Qualls will get a new baseball. Trust you're having a good weekend wherever you may be. You certainly realize in the world of technology, there are places all over the world you can tune us in. We thank you for spending this evening with us, but Arizonans especially. Bouncing ball. He'll hit it quickly, turns that one into an out. 2 away, 1 out to victory.
Well, I tell you, with all the information that we've received from the other side of the game tonight, this game has just flown.
Yes, there's
absolutely
no doubt about
flown
it.
By.
Right now on a pace, a little bit under 3 hours.
Time flies when you're having fun, huh?
You bet.
Seven nothing game. Good pitching, good offense.
Strike 1.
Fantastic umpiring.
I'll say that. You bet. Doug Davis was incredible tonight. 6 shutout innings. With some dignitaries visiting to watch, see how he's doing. He went 6. He walked 3, struck out 8 through 111 pitches. Juan Gutierrez is scoreless inning. John Roush is scoreless inning, and Chad Qualls trying to do the same. Trying to put together a Diamondback shutout.
And some folks behind the plate on the phone. Interesting.
The 1-1. Bouncing ball out to third. Mark Reynolds fields. Fires off the mark. So Wilson reaches.
Difficult play sometimes. You start and stop and try to create momentum, knowing that the guy that just hit the ball runs very well down the line. Sometimes you have to rush. That caused the errant throw.
Pinch hitter Delwyn Young does this a lot for these Pirates. Reynolds in on third. That one is away. 1-0 the count. Young 9 for 29 with 4 RBIs as a pinch hitter. Former Dodger, 4th round draft pick a couple of years back of the Dodgers. The 1-0. High strike, 1-1. Ball stays right there on the rubber, goes right back to work. 1-2 the count with a slider and a good one.
No messing around here. If you're Chad Qualls under, you need to put this one away right now.
The 1-2. Bouncing ball. They got a piece of his foot. Boy, he is not feeling too good.
That hurts.
Delwyn takes a long walk trying to shake that off. Home plate umpire James Hoy out of a courtesy, just cleaning up that home plate. Ready to go. 1-2 the count. Runner on first. 7-0 the score. The 1-2. Hot shot, base hit, right field. Not over yet. So now Andrew McCutchen. No runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for the Pirates. 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Diamondbacks. Balls will get a new baseball and take a walk. McCutchen tonight doubled, walked, lined to left, and grounded out, hitting .370 in his last week's worth of games. Bouncing ball, foul ball. Young man, Floridian, went at a big-time football school. Fort Meade, Florida. Pirates' #1 pick in 2005. The son of a minister. As he fouls that one off, 0-2. When you talk with his teammates about this young man, not only do they talk about his ability, but right away, just getting here to the big leagues, they talk about his character. He's the kind of guy they plan on building around. Hitting .295, on base plus slugging of over .800. The 0-2 popped up, and that is a souvenir. No play made down below, Matty. No contract.
None of them tonight. Letting me down. When we talk about McCutchen, he just does things right. Good outfielder, good base runner, base stealer.
Into center field, late break, now charging in. That is the ball game. The Diamondbacks combine to shut out the Pittsburgh Pirates 7-0. James Hoy, Tim Welke, Jim Reynolds, and Todd Tishner